Okay, okay, okay. We're back. What's good? Week 5? Damn, we are flying through the season. Honestly, doesn't even feel like it. It's probably something to do with us like being active in the Discord, just kind of keeping that burnout from setting in. Um, I know like it's tough if you haven't been winning a whole lot to like stay engaged, but I don't really feel like we've gotten to like that point yet. Um, you know, we all have a bunch of fun sets to try to show off, and with a longer season like this, compared to like season 1 and 2, we got more opportunities to do some cool stuff. But yeah, let's just hop right into it. We had Joe and MJC lead us off this week. All right. Lead Azelf, most brain dead lead in the league. And Covert Cloak, the Dunsparce. Actually crazy turn right there. So, I was prepping a little bit with Joe, and I kept going into Garganackle on the Dunsparce because it was working. He wasn't wearing Covert Cloak at that time. That's why he ended up throwing it on, because it was just like chipping down too much. But for whatever reason, every time he Dragon-tailed, Chien-Pao came in. It was just like clockwork. It was just always coming into either Chien-Pao or Azelf. And now from that, I knew that Sacred Sword into the Dunsparce, at most with like Band, was doing like 75% roughly or so. And I don't think we saw, yeah, we didn't see rocks because Body Slam did the 47% there. So we know it wasn't banned to Chien-Pao. Joe had no reason to get out of there. You know, he would live a non-boosted move. So the Dunsparce has Serene Grace, and that means Body Slam has a 60% chance to paralyze, and it didn't happen on that turn. So if he did get the para, I mean, he's chilling. But yep, able to get rid of the Chien-Pao anyway. No harm, no foul. I like Quaquaval with U-turn because it does force switches. I think... I guess it's not a bad read to predict that he would go into Alamomola there and go for the U-turn. But if you were making that read, might as well double, that way you're not taking Rocky Helmet chip. But at the end of the day, he got rid of Chien-Pao, so it worked. And now, oh yeah, without Ice Shard, he really has to get the Unburden off on Hawlucha in order to revenge kill this, because Gardevoir is not faster than it, even with a Scarf. So gets a little chip, goes Iron Treads, no problem. Takes a ton from Terra Fairy Moonblast. That's a resisted move doing 40 right there. Alright, lefty's knocked off. Easy Wish, go Gardevoir, not worried about anything. Maybe like a Chloroplast would be a problem. I guess Thunder would have killed. Okay, back to Treads. Now, MJC hasn't seen an item yet on Treads. Personally, I feel like he's behind enough to get aggressive here and just pray that his Gardevoir's faster. If it's not faster than Iron Treads, meaning that's Scarfed, that might give you a free setup opportunity with something. Because you have to get that Unburden off, I think, to like get back into this. What else could he have done if he dies here? I mean, if he gets rid of Iron Treads, that also just... I mean, that's just... no name the switch in for Gardevoir. I mean, Dragaugi hasn't Terra'd yet, so he doesn't really have a resist other than Gengar, but that doesn't really count. So, he plays it safe and just gets out of there. No problem. Goes for the Wish. Garganackle, easy. But lets the bally boy there get his health up. Iron Defense, I mean, it's not a terrible play if you're predicting him to go out, but he had a Covert Cloak. That was going to be his switch in into Garganackle anyway. It's not like you were doing a ton to him regardless, but you know, maybe just going back to Mola or going into Azelf or something may have been better. The acrobatics right here, this was, I want to say he was... Pull it up real quick. I want to say he was White Herb. Power Herb. Oh, yeah. Just go for the Sky attack there. Yeah, get your Unburden off and just try to do something. And hopefully Azelf can clean up in the late game. But because he didn't get the Unburden off, he's not faster than Electrode. Which, of course, sucks, because Grass and Electric, able to handle Garganackle, no problem. Doesn't really have a switch into this, either. So he just kind of has to sack it. But yeah, I think the Gardevoir not going for the Moonblast was kind of the beginning of the end. Really, really hard read, but I think that was the aggressive read that he needed to make to kind of get back into it at that point. Sash Gengar, no problem. Preventing rocks as well really saved Joe. I mean, he always could revenge Azelf with a Electrode anyway, but... But now since he took all that damage, and obviously the Spadef drop hurts, I don't think he lives in an adaptability Terra Water Surf anyway, but yeah, it didn't help things. And we're just gonna wait till Alomomola gets poisoned, and that was pretty much it. We see a Mirror Coat off of the Mola, so keep your eyes out for that, boys. Things not as passive as you would think it would be. Alright, Tommy and Graham. Let's get it. Alright. Still have bad memories of Ursa Ring versus Berg in the draft arena. Pretty safe going into Ursa Ring here on Quillfish. Because if he goes for the Toxic or something, you're fine. Hades Quillfish, really nice right there, being able to get past that the Swords Dance, and then live the Earthquake. Terra Flying Ursa Ring is actually crazy. Resist the fighting type and give yourself an immunity. I like it. Tommy said in the chat there, I'm 0 for 4, I'm getting good use out of my Terra. That still is a good use. I mean, yeah, he didn't attack, like, it wasn't a whiff or anything, but, like, at the end of the day, you forced Landorus out with your Ursa Ring, and, what, you took 8% from U-turn? Like, whatever. Early defense drop here, too, from Slowbro. The T-Wave... Yeah. I mean, if you think he's switching out and then get a T-Wave on Slowking, that's not terrible. Or even on, like, T-Tar or something. But now you just gave him Guts. And Graham's team, even though it is more defensive now than it had been, Slowbro with a defense drop is not living anything Guts boosted. That is for sure. Well, he'll live if he gets parried. And there he goes. Problem. Now, Golden Go came in and went for the Reflect. Which, yeah, I guess I don't really hate it. It feels like Heatran is just a super safe switch in there. The Reflect obviously worked out because he stayed in attacked. Yeah, I think you just get your kill on that first turn. Set up screens later. You know, go into like Tauros or yeah, maybe Cleaver on Heatran afterwards. Like after you kill it, and then kind of pivot from there and then save the screens for later. But Golden Go is not faster than Noivern, and Noivern can just like defog that away and get rid of the spikes too. There's kind of like, there's like a little anti-synergy with this. Like both of these are really good for Graham, but one move can get rid of the spikes and the screens. Like when I was running screens in Boomer League, it was because I generally wasn't running hazards. I also didn't have really good hazard setters, but putting screens up forces my opponent to defog, or run like Brick Breaker, whatever, but the idea was they would have to pack defog to get rid of my screens, and I wouldn't even have to worry about setting hazards up because they'd be so focused on removing them anyway. Now, obviously, if you can get both up, spikes plus screens, like, you're in a great spot. But Noivern can just get the defog off here, get rid of all of them. And now, you know, you took 52% on Quillfish, 50% on Golden Go, and you have nothing to show for it. Tommy right there didn't calc the Wild Charge plus Terra Electric. I mean, I don't blame him. I thought that was banded based off of the Noivern damage. It was not, apparently, because he was able to go for the Earthquake, but that's something you can easily check with a quick calc. Just always use your calculator, boys. Always, always, always. But yeah, this is kind of like the beginning of the end here. This is... yeah, the Iron Valiant show from here on out. Okay. This is another turn where you just kind of have to identify your threats, right? Tyranitar is pretty much... I mean, it's electric now on Taurus, so it's not great, but like you have double Intimidate here. You're really not too worried about physical type moves, right? Slowking special, Valiant, it just threw off a Moonblast, indicating it's most likely special. I think going for the Reflect here, or you should have went for the Light Screen here, to hopefully get some mileage out of your other mons. That, say you get the Light Screen up, you just go into like Landorus here. Easy Earth Power. You went into it anyway. Get the Earth Power off. Boom. Okay, fine. Now you still have Light Screen up. So now you can make like a U-turn and pivot into something, and it's going to take half of whatever Slowking's doing to it. Yeah, right? You would have lived 2 Surfs had you had the Light Screen up. And now Tauros is on like a massive timer. Wild Charge Recoil plus Sand is going to take it out here. Oh, no Sand. Never mind. My fault. But Valiant comes in. All right. Yeah, you still have 2 turns left of Light Screen. Had you gone for that there? Yeah, Tommy made a... I think it was unnecessary. I'm pretty sure Moonblast would kill Quillfish at 48%. I don't know if he calced it and it didn't do that, like Max Spadef or something. But you know it switched moves, right? It went for Spikes and it went for Haze before switching out. So it's not Choice Scarfed. There's no Salic Berry, so it doesn't have any priority. There's like no world in which Quillfish is faster than your Valiant. Maybe it doesn't kill and that's the only reason, or maybe Tommy thought a Light Screen was up, but I don't think Valiant had to switch out for like the rest of the game. But Tommy does a good job here not going for another Surf to kill it. He goes for the Ice Beam, and then he's able to kill it on the next turn. Graham getting a good mileage out of Quillfish, though, getting all these spikes up. Hey, get the speed. Now, Graham needs to go for another Trailblaze here and also say a prayer. Goes for the close combat, which I guess was like a misclick because that doesn't hit. That's not very effective into both of these guys. But yeah, Lando at 56% is, and we see that Valiant goes first anyway. So it definitely was faster than Quillfish, but yeah, I think that Light Screen would have been nice. That said, if Tommy just calced that Tauros damage, he doesn't sack Heatran, now he still has Heatran later in the game. Probably a little bit easier to like pivot around from there, but overall, I mean, pretty well played. Came down to a 1-0 win for Tom, so good job. All right, Ty and Cordell. From running prep games with both of these guys, we were anticipating a very long game. Cordell's team is just super fat. Both teams have Wish Passers. So if you can't Oko something, it's going to be sitting there for a minute. Cordell with a good read going for the Thunderbolt there. Yeah, the Parad Sylveon, definitely an issue. We talked about it before the game, but it always felt pretty safe to go into Donphan on Zapdos because of the Thunder Wave risk. Plus the odds that he just clicked an Electric type move into you anyway. And since Sylveon got Parad, it's really going to limit how much it can like baton pass around. Horse comes in, gets the Wish up, no harm, no foul, whatever. Terra Fairy. Ton of damage. Very defensive Zapdos, though. And what are those rolls? 47 on the first one, 55 on the second. Absolutely wild. And then Cordell going for the Roost. Again. I mean, that's just so ballsy. I guess the idea is that you're just gonna keep chipping him down with Wave Crash or like Wave Crash Recoil. I don't know. I probably would have went into like Avalugg or Dragapult at that point, or even Gudra, and then pivot back to Zapdos on like a CC, and then like Roost from there. You know, like I feel like that would have been kind of like the same order of operations. But yeah, he went for the Roost and it paid off massively. Donphan goes for the knock. Solid play. Nice and annoying Screamtail. Your Wish up. Now this Primeape's not running Rage Fist. I think Primeape with Rage Fist plus Wish support is super crazy. He was opting for like a Stealth Rock set. Yeah, big para there. Probably just going for the Wish, but still. Then unfortunately he can't just stay in, try to eat that, so Wishes up Scissor. Yeah, I think Rage Fist plus like Wish support, like Primeape just never dies, and then you get your Rage Fist boosted like all the way up. That would be pretty crazy. So we see the Donphan on the T-Bolt, there we go. And then we see the Head Smash. Bang. Some big boy damage. That did 38 to Screamtail, not bad. Non-stab. Ty's also not running removal on this team, and this static I think really just kind of closed the game out. I know nothing's died and I'm saying the game's over, but it's kind of how it felt. You know, Cordell's ready for the Head Smash now. Okay, sack Screamtail. Insane. Avalugg's defense is just so crazy. 50% from a Tauros Adamant CC. Alright, Ty shows off the low kick there. So now Gudra's not always just going to switch into Meowscarada. Double Hurricane miss. But yeah, Zapdos is just fine in front of Scissor. He's not worried about anything. That Ty's like super on the back foot. Needed like multiple Ice Beam freezes. Oh yeah, I think on this turn, I mean, it was so obvious Zapdos was switching out. I think you just go for the flip turn there to get Donphan or Meowscarada in. That way they don't have to eat this hit. And he makes a good call going for the Surf because he knows that Iron Bundle's not going to stay in. Plus Meowscarada with Rocks and Life Orb is going to be taking a lot of chip. You don't have to like try to OHKO it with Flash Cannon or Ice Beam. Primeape lived the low kick. Means 69%. Right. And we're just wrapping this up. Yep. Okay. Gudra wins. All right, yeah, GG's. I think Ty had a pretty bad matchup overall. It's going to be an interesting rematch if they play in the playoffs, because I think Cordell's team just matches up super well, even though it's like really weak to Iron Bundle overall. If he's able to keep the Assault Vest on Gudra, like it just can't break anything. Not even to mention like a Violate, Terror Steel, Primeape. All right, Dodge and Berg. This game gave me high blood pressure. Berg staying in to go for the Dragon Tail. I don't hate it. I think it was kind of risky to risk like a burn there. You know, you have Umbreon to like switch in all day on Volcanion, but his idea was that, oh, well, like Rotom can just switch in on Garchomp all day. He would switch out, I can Dragon Tail it, get some chip, get something else in, which I don't hate the idea. So Ditto comes in on the Dragon Tail, Corviknight switches into Garchomp all day, you know it's set. Very free body press, no ghost types on Dodge team, so you can just click their fighting moves, no problem. Umbreon does not care about being burnt. And then the taunt on the Grimmsnarl switch is crazy. You know, I don't know what else Dodge really like would have went into anyway. But yeah, taunting it to prevent you know, it doing any sort of status stuff or whatever. Right, Wish up on the Spirit Break, takes a ton. Gets his Garchomp all the way back up though, no problem. You can just go back into Umbreon here. Synchronize that burn back. Now Rotom, any damage done on it is permanent. Meanwhile, Umbreon can always just Wish up and is fine. Okay, go for the Wish. Burn Ursaluna. Protect is risky on a bulk up, but gets the read right. If I'm dodge there, I'm probably just going for the bulk up straight up. It was just like a super telegraph protect, because he needs the health on Umbreon to be able to check Rotom. Yeah, ton of damage, 40% from Facade into Corviknight. Body Press does a good chunk though, 38%. But Thunder Punch doesn't kill. Now, Dodge had the opportunity to do the craziest move ever and go for the ground type move on the Roost and kill Corviknight, really opening up the rest of his team. You know, there's no... I mean, Rotom's technically a Fairy type switch in. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. But yeah, Grimmsnarl and Iron Thorns probably would have ate a little bit more without Corviknight there. But yeah, Berg gets the Roost off. I think he went for it again. God, what a crackhead. Crazy. Just one EQ or Headlong Rush and it's gone. Umbreon goes for the taunt again. I mean, I don't think Berg is reading Grimmsnarl coming in, but it's working amazingly. Now, the protect on Grimmsnarl, I thought that was kind of, like, in front of Grimmsnarl, I thought that was kind of weird, but... For the Witch here, I'm assuming, yep. There's the bulk up on the protect, yep. Wish Protect is, it's super nice because it's reliable recovery, but it can be very telegraphed. Yeah, okay. This combination of turns. Bulk up on Protect. And then Ursaluna's at 26%. Foul Play is going to kill. Berg goes for the taunt. And Ursaluna went for the bulk up. I think if I'm dodged with a low Ursaluna, I'm just going for offense and trying to get damage down, try to kill this thing. You know, like Guts boosted Facade at +1. Like, I mean, you're just essentially OHKOing Umbreon and everything else on the team not named Corviknight. But Corviknight's not going to live 2, so yeah. Yeah, I don't think the bulk up was the right play. So back-to-back throws on the same turn. It's my favorite play in the NCPBL. Sorry, it's reset accidentally. Okay. Yeah, if Berg just or Dodge just goes for the attack there, that's a dead Umbreon, and Rotom is just kind of eating into him. And as we see, the foul play did 20 right there. But okay, yeah. Dodge clicked the wrong move. He was going for the Drain Punch, right? So Drain Punch OHKOs, gets Ursaluna back. Now we have a pretty serious issue, but both are fighting type moves and they look the same when you're clicking them. So yeah, can't blame him on that. But yeah, Berg, just go for the foul play there. Killing me. That taunt was actually really solid because it can prevent like Wish Protecting, and also stopped Azu from going for a Belly Drum there. Yeah, Berg refusing to use Umbreon as a Volcanion answer. It worked out because he didn't get poisoned, but Umbreon is just so good, especially defensive, that you know you could have just used that anyway. This is a pretty free Roost on Berg's end. Didn't take it. Okay. Not bad. Yeah, now it's just time to get some damage on Rotom. I don't know if he was running Dragon Claw or not. And Dodge forgot to Terra. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yep, he goes for the Terra. Earthquake does 22%, and he's chilling. Massive crit off of the Sacred Sword there, but Berg can live another, no problem. Go for the play rough, does not go for the play rough. Okay, crits do 1.5 times damage. The crit Sacred Sword did 65%. Okay, You're at 60%. Sacred Sword does not have increased ability to crit or anything, unless that Ditto was holding like a Razor Claw or something like that to increase its critical hit ratio or a scope lens. It wasn't going to crit. You know, it's 1 in 24 to crit in this gen. So at this point, I'm staying in with Azu, and I'm just clicking play rough because that is going to do some serious damage to somebody. But yeah, Berg goes Rotom. Not making any progress here. That turn would, I mean, dodge, yeah. I get that you wouldn't think he would stay in with his fire type into your water type. But like the T-Wave isn't super necessary. Like you're not worried about your speed because you have Ditto to outspeed everything when you copy anyway. And then Umbreon has been the switch in to Rotom all game. And then he just didn't do it right here. So, like, the T-Wave's not doing a whole lot. Berg, on the other hand, why? Why overheat into the water type? Just go into your Umbreon. We've seen it can't do anything to you, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna pause real quick. Alright, where were we? Umbreon and Rotom. Okay. Goes into Umbreon and Rotom, like always, no problem. Super free play rough here. Super effective into Ditto. Going to pick up Rotom from 44. Probably going to Oko Grimmsnarl. Could even go for the Belly Drum here. But, yeah, risking Ditto, you know, copying you and then being a problem back. So, probably the right play going for play rough. Okay. Ditto goes into this. Scout whatever it's doing. Get some good chip on it. No problem. Alright, Ditto's at 15%. Okay. That's fine. He's locked into play rough. You can go for whatever move you want here. I would go for the Volt Switch. And the reason is, if you get Corviknight in, you're going to win. There we go. Nope. 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 We saw Spirit Break do over 50% to Umbreon earlier. You don't have to keep going for the wishes. Just did 50% again. Now you're going to let Grimmsnarl get screens up. You wasted the wish. Could have just went into Corviknight on it. Get Corviknight all the way back up. No problem. Alright, but that's fine. You have Corviknight in now. You never have to leave the field. He can try to PP stall you with Roost, but that's fine. You just get your own up, whatever. Okay, he's locked into it. Yep. Keep going for the body press. Nope. So, let me explain the reasoning here. He only has 3 more Roosts. You have 12 more body presses. At some point, he's going to have to go into Grimmsnarl, aka when he runs out of Roost, because Ditto is almost always going to be Choice Scarfed. And based off of everything that we've seen so far, Ditto is definitely Choice Scarfed. So you just let him go down to 0 Roost, force him into Grimmsnarl, where you can get a good Brave Bird off, get a good chunk of damage. You still have plenty of Roost to get yourself back up. But the important thing is that he is never copying like an Umbreon or something that's going to like be problematic into you. Like Rotom beats Corviknight, so you never want Ditto to be Rotom. Didn't have to sack the Lade there. Still could just use Corviknight. And I'm just going to put this on fast. So now you have a Ditto that's Rotom, right? You can't go into Corviknight here. So you have to essentially sack your Umbreon. The Protect wasn't doing anything other than maybe stalling PP, but The idea was to stall PP, you would have just stayed in with Corviknight anyway. Alright, Corviknight's back up to full. Now we try it again. And you have more PP because you also have Brave Bird, which you haven't even revealed yet. There it is. You will make him run out of roosts before you need to get out of here. This is where we all thought he was going to do that. Like, yeah, he's just going for Brave Bird over and over. Good. Great. Perfect. Okay. Ditto's out of roost. Good. Okay. Great. Still got plenty of PP. Not ideal. Not ideal. Because now Rotom, like, you end up winning this still, obviously, but you never wanted him to be Rotom. That way you could do it with Corv. I personally believe Corv could have just stayed in the game like 30 turns ago and won it, based off the PP war. Also preventing like screens going up and stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, Berg found the way to win. And he actually doesn't even get the kill on Rotom because he dies to struggle recoil. Alright, well, thankfully that game is over. But yeah, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it was like a couple misplays with like no Terra on Thorns. Yeah, the Drain Punch versus Bulk Up misclick was really, really bad. Really, really bad. But you know what? What's a Berg versus Dodge game without a struggle? Alright, let's just hop into Meanie. Lead Palafin, because I'm brain dead. Go Hatterene, get the webs back. Huge. He does not have removal on his team. I wouldn't say I was under-prepped for this, because I have ways of dealing with King Gambit still, but if King Gambit was Defiant, every time he came back in on the webs, it would be at ×2 attack, and that would be a problem. That would be an understatement. Alright. Go for Calm Mind was pretty stupid. I could have just went for a Draining Kiss and got some chip up, but I guess if you went into Toxapex on me, I wanted that so I could hit him with a Psychic. But I didn't want to risk getting tricked by Rotom, so I just went into Glow King because I'm holding Black Sludge. He wouldn't want that. Okay, Future Sight, all good. Hariyama at full health. Handle this. And that was just a super free Drain Punch. If he switched out into like Toxapex, it's going to have to eat that Future Sight. Light Screen helps. But you know what? I get rid of his Chople Berry there. That way Palafin with Drain Punch later is going to be fine into him. Take a ton from that Iron Head. And he makes a really, really good play here. He doesn't go for the Sucker Punch. He just goes for the Kowtow. Yeah, really, really solid. And then he actually goes for the Sucker Punch there. Fair enough. But the boy's in. I could have went for a Bulk Up here, but... Oh, I did. Aha! Yeah, perfect. But yep, just preventing the webs from going back. Probably should have just got damage off on Spide Ups, but it is what it is. Alright, I see Screens and Volt Switch. I'm like, alright, he's definitely not Trick then. Okay. Get another third Calm Mind off. It's gonna hurt. 87 with Psychic. Not bad. Oh, easy Psychic again. He goes Gren. Oh, I made a sick double there. What a beast. I guess that play was to catch the King Gambit or the Gren coming in. That makes sense. That would do more than like a Draining Kiss through Light Screen anyway. But yeah, always have Glow King to go into on Rotom. I think I'd go for, yeah, get the momentum here. And it's Haxor's time, baby. Haxorussi. DD on the Will-O-Wisp. Not bad. Let's just do it again. Because I'm And then I decide here to go for the taunt. In case you want to stay in and go for another Willow, it would have allowed me to... I would have been in the same situation anyway, but this prevented him from getting webs up in front of me, so I could just attack into it with no repercussions. But, okay, I'm a very bulky Haxorus because I banked on having the Lumbarian Taunt to be able to get to +2/+2 and outspeed everything. There is, I think it was like a 20% chance for Sucker Punch to kill me if he's max attack adamant with the 20% increase from Supreme Overlord. I could have just went for the attack. I should have, but kind of pussied out. At the end of the day, though, I'm fine because I actually live Sucker Punch from this range still with Palafin, and then get my health back. Dragonite comes in. Like, all right, I don't know what set you're going to be running. I can just go Hatterene because I'm max Phys Def, and you're the last physically attacking mon on the team. And I can kind of just go 1-for-1 on Calm Minds here. And I decide not to Terra Water because I wanted that Fairy immunity, because whatever his coverage move for me wasn't going to hit me as hard as Dragon-type move into Terra Water. In hindsight, looking at the sets and everything, I could have just stayed in with Hatterene. But I was worried about like 5th move, like Roost plus Extreme Speed Dragonite being a problem. Yeah, completely ignoring he already showed 3 of his moves, but like, all right, whatever. I'll just go Haxorus here. I just need chip on this anyway for Palafin in the endgame. So I'm fine with whatever he wanted to end up doing. He lives the Burnt Dragon Claw. I go for the Taunt to prevent any sort of shenanigans. Yeah, I think I played the endgame pretty well. Because now I can just go Palafin, outspeed and kill. If I didn't outspeed and kill, Hatterene's fine, but just getting some kills with Palafin here. Yeah. GG's to E. I know he didn't have a ton of time to prep, so if we get this rematch in playoffs, it might look a little bit different, but Palafin feels good. Feels nice being able to switch between like Glow King, Lando, and Hatterene. Feels like a really good core of like defensive synergy here. Got it, my grass resistance, my electric immunity. If I'm worried about hazards, I can go Hatterene. It feels pretty flexible, so I'm excited about using it for the rest of the year. Yeah, that is everything I got. Let's go to our standings and kill leaders. There we go. All right, E still in first because of that massive differential, plus 14 still, even with a loss. And as we all expected, Berg in second at 4-1. I'm pretty sure everybody had that in their bingo card, along with Electrode Hisuian form being the kill leader with the best differential so far. Yeah. Sweet. Well, let's get into these matches in week 6. I know Dodge and I are playing early because I got Army this weekend. But yeah, let's have a fun week 6 and keep cooking, boys. Peace.